Hello everyone, hope you all are doing super well. I'm Bharti, a teacher of Burari Public School, a venture with Unique. And today I'm going to tell you about Maharishi Dayanand Saraswati Jayanti. So let's get started.
God is absolutely holy and wise. His nature, attributes, and power are all holy. He is omnipresent, incorporeal, unborn, immense, omniscient, omnipotent, merciful, and just. He is the maker, protector, and destroyer of worlds. भगवान बिल्कुल पवित्र और बुद्धिमान हैं। उनका स्वभाव, गुण और शक्ति सभी पवित्र हैं। वह सर्वव्यापी, निराकार, अजन्मा, अपार, सर्वज्ञ, सर्वशक्तिमान, दयालु और न्यायप्रिय है। वह संसार का निर्माता, रक्षक और संहारक है। The founder of Hindu Reform Organization, Arya Samaj, Swami Dayanand Saraswati, was born as Mool Shankar Tiwari on February 12, 1824 in Gujarat. He was named Mool because he was born when the Mool Nakshatra prevailed. His father was Krishanji Lalji Kapadi and his mother was Yashoda Bai. As per the traditional Hindu calendar, Dayanand Saraswati was born on the Dashmi Tithi of Phagun Krishna Paksh. Therefore, this year the occasion will be celebrated today on February 26, 2022. When he was 8 years old, his Yajnopavita Sanskar ceremony was performed, marking his entry into formal education. His father was a follower of Shiva and taught him the ways to impress Shiva. He was also taught the importance of keeping fasts. On the occasion of Shivratri, Dayanand sat awake the whole night in obedience to Shiva. During one of these fasts, he saw a mouse eating the offerings and running over the idol's body. After seeing this, he questioned that if Shiva could not defend himself against a mouse, then how could he be the savior of the world? The deaths of his younger sister and his uncle from cholera led Dayanand to ponder the meaning of life and death. He began asking questions which worried his parents. He was engaged in his early teens, but he decided marriage was not for him and ran away from home in 1846. Dayanand Saraswati spent nearly 25 years from 1845 to 1869 as a wandering ascetic searching for religious truth. He gave up material goods and lived a life of self-denial, devoting himself to spiritual pursuits in forests, retreats in the Himalayan mountains, and pilgrimage sites in northern India. During these years, he practiced various forms of yoga and became a disciple of a religious teacher named Virajnand Dandishaha. Virajnand believed that Hinduism had strayed from its historical roots and that many of its practices had become impure. Dayanand Saraswati promised Virajnand that he would devote his life to restoring the rightful place of the Vedas in the Hindu faith. Maharishi Dayanand Saraswati was an Indian philosopher, social leader, and the founder of Arya Samaj, a reform movement of Vedic Dharma. Arya Samaj, vigorous reform movement of modern Hinduism, founded in 1875 by Dayanand Saraswati, whose aim was to re-establish the Vedas, the earliest Hindu scriptures, as revealed truth. He rejected all later accretions to the Vedas as degenerate, but in his own interpretation included much post-Vedic thought. Swami Dayanand came to Punjab and established the Arya Samaj at Lahore. In his discourses in the Punjab, he always praised the work of the Sikh Gurus. This attracted a number of Sikhs to the Arya Samaj. By 1875, the Arya Samaj had firmly established itself in the Sikh homeland thanks to the invitation by well-meaning Sikhs and his proteges. Dayanand began to preach that Sikhism was simply a branch of Hinduism and openly began to denounce Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji and the teachings of the Sikh Gurus. For some times past, there has been a good deal of misunderstanding about the origin of Hindu-Sikh tension in the Punjab. The historical Vedic religion and subsequently Brahmanism constituted the religious ideas and practices among some of the Indo-Aryan people of northwest India, of ancient India during the Vedic period. These ideas and practices are found in the Vedic texts, and some Vedic rituals are still practiced today. It is one of the major traditions which shaped Hinduism, though present-day Hinduism is markedly different from the historic Vedic religion. His next step was to reform Hinduism with a new dedication to God. He traveled the country challenging religious scholars and priests to discussion, winning repeatedly through the strength of his arguments and knowledge of Sanskrit and Vedas. Through his daily life and practice of yoga and asanas, teachings, preaching, sermons, and writings, he inspired Hindus to aspire for Swarajya, nationalism, and spiritualism. He advocated the equal rights and respects to women and advocated for the education of all children regardless of gender. Dayanand also made critical analysis of faiths, including Christianity and Islam, as well as of other Indian faiths like Jainism, Buddhism, and Sikhism. In addition to discouraging idolatry in Hinduism, he was also against that he considered to be the corruption of the true and pure faith in his own country. He was the first to give the call for Swaraj as India for Indians in 1876, a call later taken up by Lokmanya Tilak. Denouncing the idolatry and ritualistic worship, he worked towards reviving Vedic ideologies. Subsequently, the philosopher and President of India, S. Radhakrishnan, called him one of the makers of modern India, as did Sri Aurobindo. Those who were influenced by and followed Dayanand included Rai Sahib Puran Chand, Madam Kama, Pandit Lekh Ram, Swami Shraddhanand, Shamji Krishna Verma, Kishan Singh, Bhagat Singh, Vinayak Damodar Savarkar, Bhai Parmanand, Lala Hardayal, Madan Lal Dhingra, Ram Prasad Bismil, Mahadev, Govind Ranade, Ashfaq Ullah Khan, Mahatma Hansaraj, Lala Lajpat Rai, and Yogmaya Nyopane. In 1883, the Maharaja of Jodhpur, Jaswant Singh too invited Dayanand to stay at his place. The Maharaja was eager to become Dayanand's disciple and to learn his teachings. Dayanand went to Maharaja's rest room during his stay and saw him with a dancing girl named Nanni Jan. Dayanand asked the Maharaja to forsake the girl and all unethical acts and to follow the dharma like a true Arya. Dayanand's suggestion offended Nanni, who decided to take revenge. On 29 September 1883, She bribed Dayanand's cook, Jagannath, to mix small pieces of glass in his nightly milk. Dayanand was served glass-laden milk before bed, which he promptly drank, becoming bedridden for several days and suffering excruciating pain. The Maharaja quickly arranged doctor services for him. However, by the time doctors arrived, his condition had worsened and he had developed a large bleeding source. Upon seeing Dayanand's suffering, Jagannath was overwhelmed with guilt and confessed his crime to Dayanand. On his deathbed, Dayanand forgave him and gave him a bag of money, telling him to flee the kingdom before he was found and executed by the Maharaja's men. Later, the Maharaja arranged for him to be sent to Mount Abu as per the advice of Presidency. However, after staying for some time in Abu, on 26 October 1883, he was sent to Ajmer for better medical care. There was no improvement in his health and he died in the morning of Hindu festival of Diwali on 30th October 1883 chanting mantras.